Hey, welcome back to another episode of Addicted to Gear. Thank you for joining me once again. You know, I love to bring you guys some good deals when I find them. So today we're looking at this product from a company called Ammoon. And that's Ammoon, Ammoon. They basically make a whole bunch of products for guitarists and bass players and accessories and everything. You can check them out on the website. It's ammoon.com. They also have products like this wireless guitar system that I'm going to be talking to you about today that is available on Amazon if you want to purchase it. Now, I reviewed different types of systems in the past and you can check out those videos. What makes this one a little bit different is that it's more affordable. And I always like deals, as you know, and if something works well and is less expensive, then it's all good. And today I want to talk to you about this one. So the box came in the mail. It's kind of very simple looking. There's not much information. And as a matter of fact, the Ammoon information is not even on the box. It says original sound, and you have a really nice gold logo there that basically is a treble and bass clef. Very nice. And I mean, the whole product is pretty no frills in terms of its look. It does come in a nice packaged box. As you can see here, you know, there's a nice foam there. Comes with the basic instructions. Pretty simple, nothing too complicated at all. And it comes with two wireless controllers as well as a micro USB charging cable. The controller's pretty simple looking, relatively thin, and I like that. And we'll go into more detail about, you know, these things and how they work in just a second. But overall, I just wanted to say that, you know, there's a lot of these products flooding the market right now, and a lot of them claim to work well, but actually don't. So I tried out this system just to make sure that everything does indeed work like they say it does, and indeed it does. So I'll give you some of the specs. Basically, the product works at a UHF range of 730 megahertz, right? So if you guys know anything about wireless controllers, there's different types of frequency ranges that they work in. Typically, the more expensive ones tend to work at about 2.4 gigahertz. And the difference there is the interference that you might get when it's working at a lower range. So these do not work at 2.4 gigahertz, they work at 730 megahertz. But to be honest with you, I didn't see or hear any kind of issues in terms of interference when I was using them. So I don't really feel that's an issue. They're definitely less expensive than some other ones that are on the market right now. These retail for about $63, $64 Canadian on Amazon right now. And because they're relatively new, there's not a lot of information on them. There's not a lot of reviews on them. And that's why I primarily wanted to take an opportunity to review them for you guys so that you can see how they work, okay? The receiver part is the part that actually goes into your amplifier. Then there's the transmitter. The transmitter is very clearly indicated here as well. You can see there's a little guitar on it. And when I turn it on with the switch on the side, it basically lights up with two lights. When two lights are on, it means they're paired. It means this one is talking to this one. If you hit the little button on the side of it, it basically changes the channel of the receiver or the transmitter. And it'll flash. It'll flash a series of 1, 2, 3, or 4 different flashes. That basically tells you the channel you're on. So if one of them is on channel 4, the other one should be on channel 4. If they're not, you'll only see one light instead of two. That means they're not communicating. If I change this one here, and it flashes 4 times, that means now they're both on channel 4. Both lights are on. Everything's good. You're ready to rock. Very, very simple to use. Nothing really complicated. It's really just 2 buttons, a switch on the side basically, and a button, and you have the charging port on the side of it here. This charging port is basically a micro USB. They supply the micro USB cable as well, as you can see here. Nice and long too. A lot of times you get these really short ones, and you have two split micro USB, so you can charge them with one cable. Very handy. So very straightforward, nothing very complicated there at all. Now, the maximum range that you will get with these, and I'll turn them off so that I don't waste the batteries because I want to use them later on. So the maximum range you can get with these are 50 meters. And when they say 50 meters, it's 50 meters line of sight. That means if you're in a big room and there's nothing, there's no walls or anything obstructing the receiver from the transmitter, basically you're going to get 50 meters range, which is pretty far. If you're playing in a house, apartment, studio, whatever, and there's walls, you're probably only going to get 30 meters. Still plenty of range. 30 meters is, for me, plenty for in the house, in my studio. I tried them and I didn't get any dropouts or anything. So they work, no problem there. Now the two units come with rechargeable lithium batteries. So there's nothing to open up in the back. They're screwed in the back, so you can't really, there's no panel you can slip out easily. And you don't need to because the batteries are built in, they're rechargeable. So lithium batteries typically charge relatively quickly. I charged these up in about 2 hours and I got about a 4-hour playing time out of them. So what I like to do is after a couple of sessions, I plug them in, let them charge, and I know I'm ready to go. 4 hours to me is sufficient for a long gig. My gigs typically last about 3 hours, maximum 3 hours and a half. So if they're fully charged, they should do the job without any problem there. So let's look a little bit at what I like about these and what I don't like about them and discuss that in a little bit more detail. All right, so what I like about these guys is that they're relatively small compared to some other ones that I tried, and they're also pretty thin. So they're pretty discreet. I mean, they're black, they're flat black. They don't really stand out or attract too much attention, which I kind of like. Nothing too fancy on them. They seem to be well built, and I really like the feel of them. They're kind of rubberized a little bit. Very matte rubber feeling, but solid at the same time. So they feel nice in your hands. So when you put them into your guitar, you basically just plug them in like you normally would. And there it is, right? You have them on your guitar. So what I don't like about these, and it's, to be fair, it's not just this particular brand that does it. I mean, a lot of these things do it, is that they stick out. So when you're playing, if you want to put your guitar on your lap, it could interfere. It could cause some problems. You could turn it this way so that it's less cumbersome, but you know what? It's not ideal because they're always going to be in the way somehow. And I wish somebody would come out with a system that would be less cumbersome or basically be able to get out of the way a little bit there. So that's one of the cons, okay? Now, what I like about them is that everything is clearly indicated. The graphics on the unit are not gonna win any awards by any means, but it's clear. I mean, you can clearly see this is the guitar transmitter here, and the other one is the receiver. And easy to pair, nice feel, decent range. There's no delay or latency that I can perceive with these. They claim, I think, about less than 4 milliseconds. They offer 1-year warranty, and a warranty is always nice to have. No noticeable interference at all, even at the lower UHF range. So I like them for that. So this wireless system will fit your guitars, will fit your basses. And what's really nice about them is that they're designed in a way where the shaft part is long enough to fit both this type of guitar input that is basically flat and unobstructed, and also a Strat. And that's usually where some of these systems fail. Their design will not allow you to fit it into the Strat style input. So we'll try that out here. I'm going to show you that in a second. So here we are with the Strat. We can put this in here, slide it in, and there you go. See, fits nicely in a Strat as well. And now it does stick out a little bit, but they all do. I mean, that basically is the nature of the beast with these type of systems. What I like to do, and I'll show you that in a second here, I actually like to put an extension cord so I can actually Velcro this or tape this or use an elastic band and tie this to my strap. So I'll show you that in a second. But before we do that, continue with what I think are some of the cons. So the shaft here doesn't tilt. Some other ones do. These ones don't. And that's just a question of being able to get it out of the way. But at this price point, you can't expect too much. It's definitely less expensive than some of the other ones. What I like to do is take one of these and get either a patch cable connector with a female-female adapter, or buy a small cable that has a male-female connector on it. I didn't have one of those, so I'm just using the adapter, but it's always better to have one that has just a male-female attachment. And what you would basically do is plug one end into your guitar, the other end of this guy into the other side of it, plug it into your guitar. So if you have a Strat or whatever you have, just plug it in there like that. And then this part of it gets attached to your strap. So you can actually Velcro it or attach it with a little elastic band or tape, whatever you want to use. And it basically allows you to have a regular input jack connection, and this is out of the way. You can do the same for a Gibson Les Paul or an Ibanez or whatever you might have. And I just like that better. One thing I would suggest some of these companies to start doing is actually offer an adapter like that with the kit. That would be, you know, a really inexpensive way to get more functionality out of these things. And I think it would make a lot of people happy. Overall, I have to say that I think it's good value for the money. They work well. They're simple to use. They're not very expensive. I like to plug my guitar into the transmitter of this. I plug the other end into my Headrush pedal board, and I'm ready to go. The pedal board is hardwired or wired with a lead to my amplifier, but between the guitar and my pedal board, I'm free to move around, and it makes it very convenient for me to play in live gigs. You're not tripping over wires and stuff like that, which I really like. So for someone on a tight budget, the Ammoon wireless system, the A8s, are good value. I would recommend them. I don't see any problem with these other than, some minor design improvements that could be made, but that's across the board with all of these systems. So check them out. Go to Amazon, go to ammoon.com, check out the new A8 wireless receivers and transmitter, and I think you might be able to find something that's not very expensive that will do the job for you. So that's it for today, guys. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate your support, and I appreciate you guys watching my channel on a regular basis. If you guys haven't already subscribed, please do. If you want to be notified of any upcoming new videos, just hit the little bell. And of course, if you have any comments, leave them below. I'm always happy to answer your questions, and looking forward to hearing feedback from my viewers. In the meantime, guys, stay tuned and keep rocking. There's going to be more great stuff coming your way.